Lovers of lore, thank you for joining me for the second installment of the Tarkir Dragonstorm story. This part starts with Elspeth waiting to be seen by Narset. The residents of Tarkir were very uneasy around her. They weren't sure that she wasn't some new variant of dragon due to her wings. Elspeth bided her time, waiting on an impressive Jeskai airship until Narset finally made an appearance. Elspeth wasted no time. The Dragonstorms are appearing all across the multiverse. How do we stop them? Narset frowned, unsure of whether she could be of help. She invited Elspeth to her study. Narset had never met Elspeth before, so they spoke of shared acquaintances, Tamio and a Johnny. The conversation reminded Narset of her lost planeswalker spark and her renewed focus on protecting Tarkir. Narset explained to Elspeth that the Dragonstorms had intensified, wreaking havoc on the landscape of Tarkir. In some places, the land had even grown scales. Change on this level hadn't been seen since the days of Ugin. Narset surmised that Ugin was somehow tied to this new problem that they faced. Livestock with reptilian eyes, flying cats. None of this was natural on Tarkir. The new Dragonstorms presented a bigger problem. Wild, feral, unpredictable dragons. Their nature was unknown. Elspeth suggested modifying the ritual the clan leaders had enacted, but Narset told her the results would be too unpredictable and could further destabilize Tarkir. Elspeth listened to this explanation impassively. Their conversation was cut short by alarm bells ringing. A dragon was attacking the school aboard the airship. Her protective measures had failed to keep it out. Narset and Elspeth raced onwards, while monks helped students to flee, carrying the wounded out of the belly of the ship, while other monks went to attack the dragon. Narset had never considered that a dragon might chew its way in from the bottom of the airship, and it was a massive one, an ice dragon. Only its head and a single claw were inside the ship. An arm hung from its toothy maw. Elspeth drew her sword. A group of students cowered behind a flimsy defensive spell. The dragon's focus was on them. The dragon took in a mighty gulp of air, preparing to loose a frost-laden breath weapon. The air around it grew suddenly cold. Narset gestured for the nearby monks to back off and asked Elspeth to use her sword to cut deep into the dragon's throat. Elspeth unfurled her wings and fell upon the dragon. Her blade drove up into the dragon's mouth. It tried to bite down on her, but that just allowed Elspeth to drive the blade further into the roof of its mouth. The dragon roared in pain, and Narset, accompanied by a handful of monks, rushed forwards to save the students. With the children safely out of the way, the assembled monks didn't have to hold back. They rushed the dragon with magic-imbued weaponry, while Elspeth carved up the dragon's mouth. It was too much for the beast. It withdrew its head from the ship's hold and clambered atopside the deck. Elspeth and Narset gave chase. Topside, the dragon was aloft, blasting the ship with its breath weapon. Once Narset realized that the dragon would not try and land on the ship due to the presence of those who had wounded it, she relaxed. The Sky Riders could take it from here. Elspeth turned to Narset. If I can't find help here amongst the Jeskai, I will look elsewhere. Narset asked her to wait until tomorrow. She showed Elspeth to a room while healers attended to the wounded. As Narset left Elspeth, she wondered if the angel even needed to sleep. Tygom appeared later that day in Narset's study to put forth the possibility that Elspeth was to blame for the dragon attack. They were not normally so bold. They couldn't be sure that it didn't happen because of her. He begged Narset to send Elspeth away, but got no response. The next day, Narset told Elspeth the Jeskai couldn't help her, but that Narset could and would accompany her. That ends the second installment of the Tarkir Dragonstorm story. Thanks for coming by. A big shout out to the channel's members and patrons for supporting what I do here. The next installment of the story comes out tomorrow. In the meantime, go enjoy some other stories on this channel, because at the end of the day, lore is life.